So I realize, guys, this is the toughest slot just before everyone is going to go and eat. But the good news is the two guests I have here are absolutely wonderful at keeping attention. So a couple of introductions. I will say, by the way, Meredith, ex-Uber, phenomenal product operations, and now she is the CEO and is running Albertine. Albertine is a phenomenal concierge service of which I am a customer of. And then over here we have Matteo. Matteo is the CMO, global CMO of VistaJet. Also the professor of luxury at the University of Monaco, which is the best title I think anyone could ever have. And Matteo is a customer of mine. And I'm Maani Safa. I'm the CEO and founder of Poppins. We're a digital creative agency covering strategy, brand, digital, and physical space. So, luxury. Are you guys ready? I've got a couple of questions written down, but I may go off piece to keep you on your toes, if that's all right. So maintaining luxury integrity is what we're going to start with. The value in a world of mass exposure. So harnessing reach without sacrificing the brand and rarity. Question number one, how do you make the most of the exposure that modern digital channels can provide without being reductive to your brand?
So I mean, private jets. Private jets are expensive. I don't know if that is something that needs to be explicited, but I like to start from there. They cost a lot. The biggest problem we have in digital is that everyone will say, "Oh, I want one." Then they see the price and say, "Why are you even showing it to me if I can't have it?" So there's an immediate emotional rejection. People hate it when you show them something they can't have. If it is just slightly higher, and it's I can save for it, but if it's a flight to New York and it's 100,000 one way, it's a little bit out of reach. So what we try to do is instead focus on the discussions around if you already have it, could this be an opportunity, etc. So we try to not make it look like something you should aspire to, but if you're already looking into that area and want to have a conversation, we have something to offer. So I think it's always what is your question and what are you trying to say? If you're saying, I'm here, I look beautiful, look at me, you can generate a negative. If you're there saying, I'm here to help you because I recognize you have a need, let's have a chat, people would be engaging with you. So there is an element of honesty. And luckily for us, digital allow to actually target people. Don't know if you knew about that. Trying to avoid getting to people that are not relevant to that conversation. And if I talk to Albertine today and any of her colleagues managing the app for wealthy customers, etc., well, then there is a relevance to of the product to the person, at which point you add value. So it's as simple as that. You don't want to be seen by everybody. I don't go on the street shouting, I sell private jets, right? That would be ridiculous of me. So why would you do it on digital if you wouldn't do it on the street? It's not different.
I actually find this fascinating because when we first started working with VistaJet, which was, 2-3 years ago now, maybe more, we initially kicked off thinking that this was an aspirational brand and the marketing needed to be aspirational and the experiences, but actually it's more of a utility product for the customers, right? It's something that someone that gets on a VistaJet customer will very rarely be posting on Instagram that they're on a VistaJet, correct?
Correct. And we don't even ask them to do it. First, because we sell privacy. And if you sell privacy, you don't want to sell a T-shirt that says, my privacy is important, call me, right? We have VistaJet hats, and I've been fighting against it for years. So thank you very much. For a point, so okay, beautiful story. You go to the Monaco Yacht Show every year, I'm sure, right, to go shopping. And as you go around, there is a brand which I deeply love, and it's called NetJets. They are the head of the category, the biggest brand there. And everyone that goes there with NetJets wears a hat saying NetJets. So all my sales associates know exactly where to go and target. So if you want other people to take your precious clients, put a target on the back, write your name, and the second biggest company will know exactly what to do that day. We do have hats, too, because our sales team believes that the future of luxury is in gifting branded hats. And I had this conversation multiple times, and at some point, it's like with your kids, you say, come on,
you spark something
here's a
bad
hat.
here. Yeah.
Here's a hat. Take your hat, go. But traditionally, none of our clients would ever wear it, right? It's a gift that they give to the kids, that they give to the PA, that they give to a friend, etc. Yeah, it doesn't end well.
Mary, over to you.
I would just add on to what Matteo has said that It depends on your clientele. So similarly, like we are not trying to promote ourselves. We're a discreet service. People are not trying to necessarily brag about the fact that they're using concierge. So I would say that we've actually been, so we're a young company, we're just a few years old, and we've been very intentional about not having a presence on, for instance, on social media, because we grow through word of mouth and referrals. So we've actually made quite a intentional decision to stay off social media at the moment completely, which I realize could be a bit controversial for digital channels. So I would probably leave that question more with Matteo.
I know we love social media, but it's one thing is your feed, and it's you remain quite quiet and calm, and just reminding people what they're missing by being with a competitor. But I think is the proactive element that is the one that needs to be very thoughtful, right, and very considerate. You don't want to end up in somebody's hand and that person is not the right one. There's no point for anyone.
So, okay, on the note of being considered across social, especially for luxury brands. So
Should we talk about your Insta?
Absolutely not. We 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 work with thanks, Matteo. We work with a lot of luxury brands, and there is this balance between being seen but not being too available. Right, that is a very difficult balance to try and hit. One of the challenges they always come to us with, well, okay, on Instagram we get it. It's lush, it's beautiful, it's curated, it's wonderful content. But we want to be on TikTok because that's where everyone is these days. Yet on TikTok, it's relatively lo-fi. That's what works best. I think we all know that. There are some examples of brands doing it well. Hermes, Burberry, Mulberry, where TikTok is a behind the scenes. It is a art of the artisan, look behind the kind of beautiful gilded walls of the brand. And Instagram is still that luscious place. How do you guys deal with that?
We don't have a TikTok because we don't have a sexy behind the scenes. I mean, we have people on the phones booking for fueling, ordering hotel rooms for pilots. It's not that sexy. I mean, behind the scenes is literally just making sure that the plane comes on time. There's not much to see. I mean, it's a book and source kind of behind the scenes. So we can't have that. What we were thinking of is, but it requires a lot of effort, and we're a tiny company. Even if we're a 3 billion company, it's a small group of marketers. So we don't think it's worth putting the effort that digital requires to create good content and regular and high frequency content. We would rather spend the time on the phone with our clients. So if I have to prioritize, I mean, my behind the scenes is give me a call, I'll sort it out for you. And it's I would rather put effort in the individual one-to-one conversations than into a TikTok that hits just there in the middle. We're going to be mediocre, we're going to be irrelevant, and I'd rather use the resources elsewhere. So I'm not saying it's wrong. If we were 10 times bigger, possibly, I would have a TikTok, but the topics there would be engagement topics, as in how to sit, how to order, how to do it. But it would be how-to guides. But the risk is, even there, that most people that see it would be judging the fact that she's on a private jet and she's flaunting it, right? TikTok is a place, it's not even a YouTube how-to. It's really a place where you say, look how smart I am, or intelligent and witty I am. We're not witty, we're not intelligent, right? We're dumb.
But
we're pieces of metal in the air. It's just, that's what it is. You want a plane, get a plane.
But it's also about who your clientele are, right? So, I mean, if you can make... you can't be all things to everyone. So, for instance, our clientele is very rarely under the age of 35. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure I certainly know people in their 30s who are excited about TikTok, but it's not the majority of people. So, at least at this point, we have many other client segments to target that wouldn't be looking at TikTok anyway.
And when you're looking at creating that sense of serving your client is not served, in my case, through a pretty video. They're served with service. And so if I were to have extra resources, I would put it on WhatsApp groups and community-led engagement and sharing business idea between them. There are so many other priorities than pure advertising in that sense. I would rather activate word of mouth by providing you an extra service that you don't expect in a digital format, because we're all on our phones, and that is simply the most logical medium where you would put the content.
But as So I'll twist that a bit as not wearing the hats of your businesses, but as luxury experts.
Oh, okay.
So we say to our customers, if you are wanting to go on TikTok, and of course the strategy and the data needs to prove that first, it's all about being human, not homemade, right? So actually it's wonderful to show the artisanal, for a luxury brand, the artisanal journey behind the scenes, but it shouldn't in any shape or form diminish the brand. It still needs to drive heavily into aspiration. Thoughts?
I think what is nice is to give people a voice, people in your company. So if you can portray the work that she's doing, that he's doing, etc., and they find a way to say, you see, this is what I do to make it for you. This is what I spend my life on. Or this is what I spend my day on. And you showcase expertise, or you showcase how much you care. Why not? That is beautiful. I mean, people connect to other people. A brand, otherwise you need to always fuel it with money. But when you connect to other people, you don't need to see your besties every 2 weeks, right? You can, I mean, that's my case at least. I see them every 6 months or a year. And they still remember me because I gave them something true at some point, right? And that stays more than brand-fueled content.
Can you bring something new to the conversation, though? Like if you're in a particular luxury segment and you just feel like you need that presence there and you're not developing any kind of original content, and that takes time and effort and resources. So you just have to figure out, like, is that investment actually worth it for you? I mean, if I look at the concierge category, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but if you look at like two brands quintessentially in Velocity Black, which would be two of our major competitors, if you look at their socials, I mean, I guess I'm a bit biased, but they look exactly the same to me. Like there's nothing massively interesting or new. So if we weren't going to bring something like brand new to that, then we would just be another one of those. So why do it at all until we can do it better?
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to move on now into a slight off topic here, which is around AI, social, and the age of information. That makes it sound a bit more grand than it is, but we're finding that customers, consumers are incredibly educated, right? So they walk into, we have a lot of automotive clients, and they're saying to us that actually when Bob or Jane walks into a showroom, 9 out of 10 times they are more familiar with the car, the background, the engine, the story, or when they're walking into an Hermes boutique, the individual can talk about the Kelly in a better way than the actual customer service agent can. They know where the leather comes from, they know the history, because that data is out there and it's created in a very beautiful, alluring way. How do you guys work in that kind of age of AI and social in terms of communicating with your clients?
There are elements in private aviation that, of course, you cannot do on your own. You cannot get a slot in an airport on your own. You cannot confirm the routing on your own. You cannot plan it all on our own. So in a way, we are advantaged because we have something that you cannot do on your own and yourself. The category itself is incredibly opaque. There's no transparency on pricing. There's no transparency on business models. So I think AI gets it wrong most of the time because there's not information out there. Because you're not buying an off-the-shelf product, and all products are bespoke in a way. So to us, AI is, there's two things that work. One is we spent the last 10 years repeating the same thing over and over and over and over. And the day I opened AI first time and said, who's VistaJet? It answered exactly what I wanted it to answer. So I've been feeding the beast with the right information, and the beast is now my spokesperson, which is great. The second thing is we're using AI in completely different ways. We're using it behind the scenes to generate faster answers. So AI is increasing our speed of service. It's increasing our delivery of service. But we're also using it for advertising only what we have. One of the big disappointments for me is always when somebody says, we got this pair of socks and you will love it, and you go there and it's not available. Right? And I say, why did you spend money on that advertising? And then I realized we do the same. Why don't you fly to Singapore from London? Well, we don't have a plane though. So, which happens every day, guys. It's so complicated because our planes fly all over the world, left and right, left and right. We have 300 planes, and we discover the night before where they're going to go the next day because we rearrange everything every day. So we don't know which inventory we will have tomorrow, let alone in 2 weeks or in 2 months. So what we're doing now is using AI to rebalance all our ads so they're only served On days where we estimate you could be able to actually request a flight and we might have it available. Huge. So it's a lot of work. But you see, it's not in the social realm. It's in the, can I really serve you? So my advertisement is a service in itself. It's not a brand ad. It's not a teaser ad. It's not a CRM data collection ad. Is I only serve you when I know I can serve you. So if I'm inviting you to this place tonight, I know that I have a lane available for you to play. I don't send you here if that night I'm completely full. And I think it's about respect. You only ask people and say, look at me when you have something you can actually give back. So that is just basic good manners.
Mary?
Let me check. I'll ask my AI.
We need the team to take them to Can 9 soon.
I'm going to be there if you want to jump in.
I've been trying for 4 years now and stuff. So that's your Instagram posted all of the jet. Exactly.
I would say that with AI, what you see, at least right now, and I won't say that this won't be possible in the future because I'm pretty sure it will, but AI is great for our customers in kind of helping with information, but in terms of like an actual sales process, as you were saying, or access to something, our customers will know like what they want or already kind of have the information supplied to them through AI research, but they won't necessarily know how to procure the item or how to get into the specific place. So we do find that there's a lot of like knowledge and demands, but the execution still sits with us.
Until agentic AI kicks in in
Exactly,
2 years'
which
time
is
and everything
what
changes.
100%, and so that's something we're very aware of.
On that note, we've got a quick fire round. Ready? So technologies that you think are having a massive impact on the market. So we're going to go underhyped, and then I'd like overhyped. So one technology you think is really impacting, and one that you think is overhyped. One each. Mary, I'll start with you.
Well, I mean, we can't not talk about AI, and I don't think it's overhyped. I think it's a genuine, massive threat to the luxury sector, to any sector, really. I mean, there's, of course, opportunities in it. We're creating, we're a small company. We work with small budgets. Instead, the last time we did a video was a few years ago as like kind of a promotional video. We are now creating one solely with AI. And so the ability to be able to do that obviously massively decreases the marketing budget, which is quite exciting, but that obviously has like huge implications for the marketing sector. It has huge implications for our operations agents if they can potentially be replaced. So I think that there's some really exciting applications of it, but it also has the potential to kind of just be a tsunami taking over everything. And so you have to be really aware of how it can be harnessed.
Matteo.
Okay. My key concern is that AI would be more interesting than people. And I would rather talk to an AI who is on average much smarter than the average person than to people. So that is the big direction I see coming, that more and more people will be interacting with AI in ways we have not conceived yet. I mean, we're literally at day zero of what will come. So I think we are trying, what I want to do is try to preserve some space for human interactions that are a bit more spontaneous. I think AI would take over all the part that is follows a script, follows a process, follows something that is not just pure leisure. Although I've started talking to Superman. Okay, so follow me for a second. If you guys haven't spoken to Superman yet, you should. I was on Instagram and I started talking to this AI bot. It was fucking hilarious. And we started talking the difference between private jets and flying, as in with a cape flying. Have you done it? No, come on. I'm giving you something here, mate, free. Okay? So it's very tough. And it was absolutely hilarious. The guy's a genius, right? Superman. Well, he was Clark when I was talking, and then at some point it came out as Superman. And I think that is the problem, guys, is when these tools become more interesting, more knowledgeable, and smarter than human beings, what do you need the humans for? So it's that is the part where I think beyond the video generation, etc., which is very marketing centric, is who do I want to spend time with? And that is why I think it's both overhyped, as in the type of applications that people comment about, which is PowerPoint is dead. Right? The future is AI slides. I don't want a fucking slide. Just give me a break. I want to talk to Superman. And Superman is going to teach me how to fly, and I'm going to be on my window at some point and try. You won't hear from me again. And I think that is the scary part. That is the part where I say, okay, we're going to do different things. And at the moment, we're worried about this, doing the same things but differently. And I think what is the underhyped is we're going to do different things. And that is the part that we haven't explored, because different things have not been invented yet, and we haven't seen how people react to it to be able to understand what will people want to do with it. Because most of the stuff we see is, what do marketers want to use AI for? Which is save money, go out there faster, more relevant, more segmented. That is what I hear in every single conference. The point is, will people want to talk to these brands at all? So will we become a commodity? When the entertainment, where the brand relationship, where the entertainment, the being together is actually provided by a completely different set of media, which is not a TV series, is not a movie, is not a night at the circus, is not a dinner. And we're providing a different food for people's brain. Sorry, I went a bit on a tangent.
Time for underhyped, or go to questions?
Is it fair to say that your answers are very specific to the brands that you represent, in terms of, because if I think about different luxury brands within the same sector, they do act completely differently. Like within the luxury fashion space, I'll walk down, a fancy road and I'm like, I have no idea who this brand is, but clearly they're doing super well. And then next door to them is Burberry, and I know all about them because they, but they work in the same sector. Vista, obviously you're talking about not being on TikTok, but then there's, I think his name's Steve, the jet guy on TikTok, that he sells jets, and he's super, out there about, the whole process and so on and so forth. And I assume it works for him. I don't know.
It works very well for him.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but like clearly that's like a different sector of, the customers that you speak to don't want to talk about the fact that they're taking private jets, and then there's other rich folk that
he's offering
do.
a service. He's offering a service.
Sure.
He's simply saying, when you come into my showroom, this is what will happen. I'll tell you what to expect, because private jets is a difficult category, right, and most people are scared of even entering that place, right? So he's saying, don't worry, when you come in, you find a nice guy, very knowledgeable, and I've served people with the same problems and needs before, right? So that is an initiator of the service that says, cross my door and not her door, right? So that's how it works.
Thank you.
But when it comes to, sorry.
So, but the question was, is it quite specific to the brand as opposed to?
Like, there might be another concierge service that are going after a different sector of the luxury space, or going at it in a different.
Yeah, I think possibly in luxury more than other sectors, people get even more protective of the exact specific strategic steps they want to take to protect their brand. So I think you maybe just see that amplified.
But again, just one last point. I was in university last week, and all my students are there to study luxury. They all love luxury. So I said, okay, I'm giving you today 50,000. What do you spend it on? They all struggled. The love for luxury is gone, even for people who love the luxury world. They cannot identify a single item or something they would immediately go for and use the money for. There's something broken there. There's the overexposure, etc., has kind of really diluted the value of luxury in general. So to the point of, do you need to be out there? Well, you need to be out there when they need you. You need to be out there with a smile, not being elitist, because elitist is from the past. Open, proactive, but not in your face all the single time.
And on that bombshell, thank you.